Hey guys, it's me, John Avenger, once again, and welcome back to R-Rated Movie Month for April of 2018. Today is the 18th, I believe. Yeah, so bear with me. In the camera, it'll probably say 17th, but anyway, it's still April. So let's give this movie a whacking. Yes, this is one of the worst films that I did not see last year. It's a film that bombed in the US. You don't have to tell me in the comment section it made a lot of money worldwide. I don't know what dumbasses went to go see this movie, but it is the 2017 sci-fi horror movie Alien Covenant. Let me just give me a minute because I have to take this all in. Ridley Scott, the maker of this masterpiece right here, Alien, one of the best sci-fi horror movies of all time that's been ripped off so many times. And this movie pretends to be this. Fuck you, Ridley Scott. You went from this amazing freaking movie, no matter what cut of it you see. This is the theatrical cut. There's also the director's cut. I will watch that after watching this piece of shit. You come back in 2012 saying, I'm going to do this amazing prequel, and it's not going to connect to Alien until the very end of the movie where you put a blue CGI xenomorph with the freaking mouth coming out and going, and I'm like, I didn't even see Prometheus. I saw the trailer and I saw all the foreign cast. The only American actor in that movie is Logan Marshall Green, the guy that was the first Shocker in Spider-Man Homecoming, the guy that looks like Tom Hardy. He's the only one, and he dies in that movie. And just like The Last Jedi, I'm going to say this. This movie made the previous movie pointless. Everything you set up in the previous film is shit on the next film. But this film had no chance of being good. You steal the opening of this movie, the same freaking music, the same fonts of the thing, and it says Alien Covenant. And I'm like, the whole movie is about freaking David and Walter. These stupid freaking robots that have no emotions. It's Michael Fassbender giving one of the most pretentious bullshit excuses of an acting job I've ever seen. Please, Hollywood, stop casting these English muffins. Please, for the love of God, stop hiring them. They piss me off already in Disney Wars. I don't need any more of this. I'm done with the Alien franchise. I'll stick with this one. I'll see Aliens again. Hell, I'd rather see Alien Resurrection than this shit again, because at least that had Ellen Ripley. Granted, Sigourney Weaver was a clone in that, but she was better than this freaking diet version of her. Catherine Waterston, I didn't care for her. She has this boyish haircut. She looks like a boy. I was never attracted to her. And she's so flat. I swear to God, every single scene, she looks like she's going to cry. She's like, it's horrendous. It's some of the worst acting I've seen her give. And she was decent in Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. But I like that movie because of Eddie Redmayne and Dan Fogler and the visuals and the story. That's what saved that movie. This, she's just a crying little emo bitch, just like Kylo Ren in The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Why are our leads a bunch of whiny pussies? And this one has a pussy, so it's not. There's no excuse. I don't get it. The rest of the cast is completely useless. There's the freaking stereotypical black guy that dies. You have the freaking, you have the Spanish guy that gets his face burnt in and he dies. You have the freaking, who else you have? Fassbender, like I said, either role he sucks in this movie. And they kill off Elizabeth Shaw from the first movie, from Prometheus. So the whole backstory of her surviving at the end of that movie meant nothing. Not that I care, because the Noomi Rapace, I could take her or leave her. But hey, she's a lot better than the girl in this movie. And the rest of the cast, like I said, James Franco is in the movie for a minute, and he burns alive. And then they show a footage of him on a mountain. It might as well be footage from 127 hours. What a waste of a cameo for Mr. Franco. Danny McBride's probably one of the only likable characters in the movie because he's trying. Damn it, he has to work through this bullshit material. And critics like this movie. 67% on Rotten Tomatoes. Really, critics? This gets a higher rating than Justice League or the Despicable Me 3 or freaking Batman v Superman. Why? This movie's boring. When it started, I'm like, oh my God, they're in space. Nothing is happening. There's no xenomorph. There's no eggs. There's no freaking facehuggers. There's nothing. And then when they show up, it's shitty CGI albino freaking aliens. The neomorphs. Fuck you. This practical effect of the alien, the chest burster, still looks good to this day. This movie is almost 40 years old and it still looks good today. I don't care how slow it is. It's a masterpiece compared to this movie. The chest bursters here, they do whatever they want. They come out of people's mouths. They come out of people's back. This guy's like shaking like he's having a seizure and it comes out of his back. Good gore. The only good thing in this movie is the gore. The non-CGI gore, like the dead bodies and the decapitations and the freaking, the gory guts coming out. That looks amazing. The people that did the special effects, the creature effects, for the makeup effects. I'm not going to say the creatures because the creatures are shitty CGI. It's horrible. Some of the worst CGI I've seen recently. But the makeup effects, awesome. No problem with that. But the film is slow. It's boring. It is way too long. This movie is only, the theatrical cut is an hour and 56 minutes. It sounds long. This movie is almost the same running time, and it feels even longer. With the end credits, it's like 2 hours and 14 minutes. It's way too long. It's boring. Nothing happens in this movie. Nothing. They go to the freaking planet like, oh, there could be life there. Let's land and see what it's like. And they do the same stupid things that we've seen in other alien movies. These people made the cast of AVP seem smart. They're dumbasses. Like Billy Crudup looks at an egg and he's like, "Oh, go look inside of it. See what's inside." He looks and then the chest burster hits him in the face and it's shitty CGI. And I like Billy Crudup as an actor. He was great in Watchmen as Dr. Manhattan. I liked his small part in Justice League. Here, this is an insult to his talent. This is just a slasher film in space. And it doesn't work. It's never scary. I was never scared of this movie. Not once. Not one time that the alien showed up, I was scared. I'm like, oh, another person died. Who the fuck was that? Oh, another person dies in the shower. They rip off a scene from Psycho, where except that the man and the woman are having sex, and the freaking albino bullshit thing, or the xenomorph goes behind him and kills him. It's the black one from the original Alien. The tail comes up and then slashes the guy. I'm like, the gore's good, but I don't care about these characters. Why is it that they make these shitty sci-fi movies? It upsets me because I love this genre. And when they make bullshit like this is why audiences stood away. Just re-release the original Alien. This movie is a masterpiece. I barely have any problems with it except for the pacing in the beginning. But it builds up to something good. And the cast is fantastic. Tom Skerritt, freaking, what's his name? Yaphet and Sigourney Weaver. And freaking even Ian Holm, and he was in the Hobbit film, the first Hobbit film and the Lord of the Rings. The guy can act. Yeah, he's British, but at least when he dies and he's spitting out milk, that is a better effect than the freaking albino bullshit neomorphs. These things look horrible. They're crawling like this, like they're spiders. One of them kills Carmen Ejogo in a very violent scene, and I'm like, I don't give a shit about her. She's some freaking British chick, too, that was also in Fantastic Beasts. Why does this movie have actors from a movie I liked? I don't get it. And wasting what little talent they have. It's just an insult. And the ending in this movie, I'm going to spoil it. So if you want to see this movie, be my guest. Josh, if you defend this movie, I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know what you're saying. This is not a guilty pleasure. It's dull. It's lifeless. It's the Rogue One of freaking alien movies. I saw this movie on my cable on HBO on demand because I'm like, hey, I've heard some mixed things. It's horrible. It's average. How bad can it be? And it was boring. The film, just like Rogue One, looks ugly. There's no color. They sapped all the color out of it, just like in some of the DC movies. And the bad ones, like freaking Man of Steel, I don't like them taking the color out. And Suicide Squad, where they put color, but it's bullshit rainbows, and it doesn't look good. It's like they sapped all the life out of it. And Rogue One, the beginning of the movie with Jyn Erso as a little girl, and then when they go up to the mountains and see that alien with the mask, and they sucked all the color out of it. Hollywood, I want to see color. You see this movie right here? You see that? That's called color. I want to see color. I don't want to see the color saturated, oversaturated, and I can't see what's going on. It's like ugly freaking effects and ugly freaking cinematography. See Blade Runner 2049. That's how you do an R-rated sequel the right way. And that movie bombed. And it's a great freaking movie. It got 2 Oscars. Fuck you, Alien Covenant. 2 of them. Cinematography and visual effects. And it shows. They put work into those effects. Here's like shitty albino alien neomorph. Shitty albino freaking chest burster. Shitty freaking xenomorph. Remember the xenomorph in this? It was a guy in a suit. It looks great. Here, it's horrible. When they even tried to do a scene from the first movie where it's opening his mouth, and then that still looks good to this day in the original Alien and in Aliens. Hell, Alien 3 has a better shot, and that movie's bad. But at least the alien effects look better. The franchise has been going down the frapper ever since Alien 3. They rushed it with studio interference like every freaking movie, like every movie that gets studio interference, but for better or worse, it's not a good idea. It ruins the franchise. Here, I wish that the studio interfered. I said, no, we can't make this a Prometheus sequel. We're going to make it a pseudo sequel and a reboot at the same time and put the aliens in it. You have to wait over 40 minutes to see something happen. That is way too slow. I cannot fathom what people were thinking when they saw this movie in the theater and they said, where are the aliens? I want to see something happen. What happened to the suits? I want to see an alien in the suit. What's next? The Predator's going to be like this too in September? You're going to have shitty CGI Predators? No. Give me a guy in a suit. Most of the Avengers are in suits. They have real costumes and not shitty CGI costumes. I'm sorry. This film sucks. It's one of the worst films that came out last year. I give The Last Jedi credit for one thing. At least they didn't take the color out of that movie. Rogue One did that because it was freaking terrible. I saw I'm like, why does this movie have no color? I want to see color. I'm tired of this dreary, dark freaking cinematography environment and making everything so gritty. It's not gritty when I don't give a shit what's going on. The blood's good. So what? So was the Evil Dead remake, and that sucked. You got to give me more than gore. I don't want just gore and ass shots and titties. I need more than that. I need characters I can latch on to. And there's a stupid scene where freaking Diet Ripley, I don't know what her name was. I don't give a shit. Waterson is like on the freaking ship and she's trying to shoot the alien like she's Rambo. And I'm like, yeah, you're not going to be better than this movie. And they do the exact same thing they did in Alien, where they shoot the freaking alien out of the airlock, but with a truck. It looks so freaking stupid. How can an alien movie with this much budget be such a shitty movie? And critics liked it. They said, oh, this is a good movie. The characters are forgettable, but it still feels scary. I didn't get scared once. I was never terrified. I never felt any tension. H.R. Giger is freaking rolling in his grave seeing this bullshit. And Jerry Goldsmith, I'm glad he he passed on and did much better score here in this bullshit movie. I hate this movie. This is one of the most insulting films ever. The ending, Catherine Waterston goes to sleep and she finds out that Walter is David and he's like vomiting out freaking embryos and putting them away, and the movie's over and you're depressed. What? This is leading up to a third movie that I don't give a shit about, just like Episode 9. Fuck that movie and fuck Alien, Prometheus, Alien Resurrection, whatever they're going to call it. Ridley Scott, if you wanted to make a pretentious movie, you should have done it already. I'm glad you didn't direct Blade Runner 2049. That movie would have been some shitty sequel to one of the best movies you ever made. And it wasn't. It was a great freaking movie. One of my favorites of last year. And that was sci-fi done right. With gore and titties and ass. But it also had a good story. And the characters weren't forgettable. Ryan Gosling, I still remember his character. Harrison Ford doesn't appear for a while. But he has a purpose in the movie. Even the villain is better in that. Because at least Walter, I'm never scared of him. I want to just... He's playing the flute like a dumbass. He's like... It's so freaking annoying. I'm like, it's his movie. This isn't about the aliens anymore. I told you, stop giving explanations that don't make any freaking sense. If you set up something in the first movie, like this film did, Go with it in the sequel. Don't say, "Oh, people hated that thing in Prometheus. We're gonna do a complete U-turn and go a separate mile and just do a different thing." Then don't call it. Don't connect it to Prometheus. Do your own freaking movie. Stop leeching onto this movie that is a masterpiece. Ridley Scott, you're losing your freaking brain cells. You're old. You can't do it anymore. The last good film that they said he made was The Martian. That I'll see. It doesn't have this bullshit CGI in it. That has a better cast. Matt Damon and freaking Donald Glover and Kristen freaking Wiig. That woman could freaking make me jizz in my pants compared to Catherine Waterston. Where everybody has an American accent is so fake, and I notice because I'm like, I'm not stupid. Alien Covenant. I saw I saw The Force Awakens. You can't fool me anymore. This movie sucks. It has no plot. It's so boring. It's way too long. It has no good ideas. Blade Runner 2049 was saved because of the good visuals, good story, and the ideas it had. Interlink, I could hear that line 15 times and it never pisses me off. Yeah, this movie is just a slap in the face. It's one of the best franchises from the 70s that just went to shit after Alien 3. Resurrection, I can forgive it for at least having a better cast. And it ended. The albino chupacabra looking freaking fuckface, like they call it, like Rambaref says, at least that thing was practical. This is just horrible CGI. Horrible. Like it makes the Sci-Fi Channel Sharknado movies look like freaking Jaws in comparison. I hate this movie. This movie pissed me off so much. This is worse than the Thing prequel. It's worse. That had horrible CGI, but it was shorter. And I like Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Even though her character is flat, at least she's nice to look at. Waterston looks like a freaking boy. I told you, Hollywood, I'm attracted to women that look like women. That have long dark hair like freaking Gal Gadot, or gorgeous blondes like freaking Scarlett Johansson, or the most beautiful woman in the prequels, Natalie Portman. I don't care what you say about those movies, they're way better than this movie. I can take Jar Jar CGI face going, oh, wait! I can deal with that for freaking 2 hours than dealing with these shitty freaking actors from the UK and from elsewhere ever again. If Catherine Waterston sucks in Fantastic Beasts 2, I never want to watch a movie with her again. Because she's just not interesting. She's boring. She's a Diet Ripley. She wishes she was Sigourney Weaver. Weaver's like in her 60s now. She's still hotter than this fucking bitch with a boyish haircut. I have a boyish haircut, but I'm a man. I don't look like a freaking girl. I know what I am. This lady is like, she's a crying little bitch. She's like, oh my god, what are we doing here? Oh my god, everyone's dying. James Franco burned alive. Stop being a pussy and get off your ass and do something. Let me show you this. This girl doesn't get enough credit, and I want to give her credit before this video is over. This movie has a freaking girl that she cries like maybe once or twice, but at the end, she kicks ass with no superpowers and has a freaking sword. And this movie is only 95 minutes. Alien Covenant is over 2 hours, and it's boring. And your lead is not a pussy. She is a freaking warrior, baby. And this movie is forgotten. I'm going to probably review it sometime because it's been a while since I've seen it. That's a much better movie. It doesn't have bullshit CGI like this. And it also has gore, and it's a good story. And it's in the desert. It should have been the most boring movie ever. But Haley Lou Richardson, she's a kick-ass actress that is sexy. I'm tired of these boring English crackers in these freaking movies just giving me nothing. Nothing! This movie will live forever as one of the best. Alien. It's in the top 250 IMDb list for a reason. Because it's a classic. You're not going to be better than a classic. Or that modern day classic. Or that classic sequel. Or what we're getting next week. Which is going to destroy movies like this. And The Force Awakens. And The Last Jedi. And freaking Rogue One. And Solo. Brolo. Or freaking Episode 9. Or the Boba Fett movie. Or whatever they're doing. Okay? When you make insulting sci-fi, I bury you alive. That is going to change everything. That movie is going to make billions, and not for Disney, for Marvel, because they are making the movies. And when you put a movie in the hands of good directors like the Russos, you get magic. And Ridley Scott, this is in his prime. He did a great job with this and Blade Runner and freaking whatever else he did before he started making bullshit movies like Michael Bay. Yeah, this is just as bad as a Transformers movie because at least those movies have decent CGI. This is horrendously bad CGI creatures that look like shit. They crawl like spiders. It looks terrible. Oh my god, this movie just pissed me off. Fuck Alien Covenant. Guys, Nerd Pack, don't see this movie, please. If you saw it, I feel sorry for you. It's a terrible sequel. This is the Last Jedi of Alien movies. It makes the first movie pointless. You kill off all the characters that were set up in the last movie, even your last survivor, and you make the star this dumbass freaking guy from X-Men Apocalypse. Yeah, and X-Men First Class, and and X-Men Days of Future Past, both cuts, and the upcoming Dark Phoenix next year. I'm tired of Michael Fassbender, people. Go back to the UK and suck your own dick, okay? I'm tired of you people. You people ruin nearly 90% of the stuff that I watched in this decade. Not everything, because I know there's Brits in Infinity War, but they're good Brits. They're the ones I can tolerate. They don't do bullshit movies like this. Yeah. Tom Holland is going to make a bad movie next year called Chaos Walking. That's only going to suck because of you know who is in it, who ruins franchises. But I'm tired. Alien is done. I'm going to go back and see this one. I'm going to go back and see Aliens. I'm going to go back and see freaking Resurrection because at least even though that's flawed, I can watch it over this. And I'd rather watch AVPR because at least even though that's dark as fuck, it's short and it knows what it is. It's flawed, it's heavily flawed, but it's not boring. Hell, I'd rather go back and watch the Predator movies because those at least we have two really solid ones, Predator and Predator 2. Predators was just mediocre. This is insulting to my senses. But I've had enough. I'm done. Alien Covenant is one of the worst films of last year. It would have easily been in my bottom 3 of worst movies of 2017. Oh, God, it sucked. It was so terrible. Just don't see this movie. Just if you hated Prometheus, this is going to piss you off even more. That also had a foreign cast that I didn't give a shit about. Idris Elba and Charlize Theron and freaking Noomi Rapace and whoever else. Fassbender. Yeah, I said it. I'm not invested in a foreign cast. I'm American and damn proud of it. Fuck you people in the UK that think that you can act, ruining our franchise. Not every one of them. Not all of them. I like Benedict Cumberbatch. I like Tom Holland. I like Paul Bettany. I like Michael Caine. I like a couple of them. But people like Cavill and Daisy Ridley and Felicity Jones and Michael Fassbender and freaking Alicia Vikander, fuck off. Please. Fuck off. Go away. Stop acting in films. You can't do it. You're not engaging. You're boring. That's why Tomb Raider didn't make a lot of money here. Overseas, some of them don't have taste. So they'll see anything. Me, I have taste. And I'm going to show it. When I see this movie, you're going to get every single emotion out of me. Every single one is going to pour out of my face. But fuck Alien Covenant. It can kiss my ass, suck my dick. It's done. Alien is never going to recover again. Until Ridley Scott is gone and they actually get a director that gives a shit about this franchise and makes it great again. But it's done. I'm done with this franchise. Later.